This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Grand Avenue Brokers. Since 2014, this team of principal-centered investor realtors help educate clients while finding investment opportunities to create financial freedom. I'm joined with Vern and Renee. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Vern, let's start off a little bit about yourself. You're an entrepreneur, a realtor, really a lover of business. You began in business in the latter part of the 80s. In 2014, your focus shifted to real estate. Within a short time, you became a licensed realtor. What began really as an individual, an expert in the assisted living industry, you have now become a network through an association and team experts in real estate. Share with me some of the details how this journey began for you.
Well, that's a good outline. I always wanted to be in business, and when I was younger, I ended up starting my own business and was in that industry for 40 years. And after a while, my wife and I realized we didn't need to have all of our eggs in one basket. Our business had gotten to the point where it had smoothed out, and I got a little bored and wanted to try something else. So I got involved in the real estate investment world. And from there, I ended up getting my license. And when I discovered assisted living, which is really our niche that we work in, I liked it because it had a combination of real estate and business. And to me, that was very attractive. So that's how I got involved in the assisted living. And I think it's a great space for us to be in. We're actually helping people. We're helping businesses develop their own niche in the world, so to speak. We're helping seniors find a place to live. So it's our contribution to the community.
Win, win, win. Obviously part of what you do. Renee, you're a realtor, business consultant, military veteran. Thanks for your service, as well as thanks for being with us today. Let's go back on you a little bit. You have formally educated in business management. You have increased the profits and productivity for multi-million-dollar companies out there who are preparing pretty much their business to be sold, with a drive as a problem solver to help people. Really is what you're all about, helping them to attain financial freedom so they can enjoy life on their terms. Tell me a little bit about that passion and why you felt this was a great fit for you.
Yes. You know, we work so hard, and I feel like a lot of people are just one paycheck away from financial devastation. And I've been there myself. I've had a long journey with being introduced to real estate investing. I wanted to be an investor for 25 years. And the whole reason is because you should have freedom. You should have the freedom of time and freedom of location, if you like.
Right.
And, you know, choice is a big deal. So real estate investing, I love the idea of helping seniors and give them a place where they are at home.
At home.
They feel loved and they have companionship and connection with other people. You know, you should live out your senior years in joy, not withering away until it's over. And so when I met Vern and I got to see his integrity and the way he deals with people, it's always a win-win. I just knew this was the place I need to be, and I brought all my skills and everything to the table, and we're growing this business and helping more people and expanding our team. So.
That is a great fit. Obviously, there are many vehicles out there in our portfolio that can lead us to financial freedom. Why do you think real estate is still one of the most sought after?
Well, in my opinion, you could put your money into the stock market, but if it crashes, you've got zero. If you put your money into real estate, the worst case is it burns down. You still have the land. So there's a tangible asset there. And honestly, it's the land that increases in value, not the product that's on it. The product that's on it, you still have to maintain and throw money at to maintain value. But if you did nothing, it would go down in value. The land would go up. So the land is really the tangible asset of real estate. And improved, of course, it makes more money.
Probably safe to say there are more realtors in Colorado than there are homes for sale, right?
I mean, for sure.
Yes, sir.
The abundance of realtors who help us obtain the American dream of home ownership, they're easy to find. But to actually find a realtor who can help you invest in opportunities that are in that same market, I mean, a person would probably have to do a little bit of due diligence. What should an investor look for when they're seeking a professional to place in their corner?
You know, I think specialized education is the key because I've been to both. I've been to real estate investing school and I've been to real estate for regular real estate sales, and they're very different. The strategies, think about as a realtor, your job is to get the absolute highest price for your property if you're selling it, correct? But if you're an investor, you're looking for some margin. You need to have that price a little lower because you need to figure in you've got costs that when you're rehabbing a property or you're paying for the utilities and all the things while you're fixing it up. It's a very different strategy. And there's a lot of things that are different about investing. So I have much love for all the realtors out there. It is a tough gig, but there's a special knowledge that it takes to do what we do. And, you know, Vern is a business broker. So that's an entirely different set of skills on top of it.
I mean, Grand Avenue brokers, they're investor friendly, really. As investors yourself, is it easy to understand the needs and goals of your clients and really getting to know them, earning their trust? Is that a process that you don't take lightly and you basically enjoy?
Well, both Renee and I were investors before we became realtors. And I think that's very important. You have to know that side, the mindset of an investor. A lot of realtors out there, not to knock any of them, but they don't understand what we do. So having that mindset of an investor and then becoming a realtor, I think is a real advantage. The other thing I want to reiterate what Renee said is the education. My team is required to have at least 20 hours a year of education. The standard for realtors is 8 hours a year. I average about 100 hours a year of education. It's important for us to understand the nuances of investing, and the more that we understand, the better we can help our clients.
That is interesting. I mean, obviously there's new listings that hit the MLS every single month. I imagine not every one of those is a great deal for an investor by any means. It takes time, a trained eye to find, should we say, that needle in a haystack. The process, do you think it's as much of an art really as it is a science? And is this really where kind of experience matters?
Oh, absolutely. You know, as a new investor, when I was first looking at properties, you know, you think like a retail buyer. Oh, the paint's ugly. Ooh, the carpet. Oh, it smells bad. And oh, I don't want to invest in this. Because you're thinking like you're living there. You don't think about what's the potential of the property. What would it look like once it's rehabbed? How can I move walls and, you know, reconfigure the structure to make it modern? Like we're working with a 100-year-old house right now. Tiny little rooms, itty bitty closets. That's not ideal for today's market. So you have to really think outside the box, be creative, and see what the potential is, and be an excellent researcher. So being able to know what's important to your client, the area, even the neighborhood. You go down to the neighborhood and it can change drastically.
That is interesting. As a professional, you're able to analyze these opportunities for your clients for really wealth potential. To make these deals work, does creative deal construction kind of play a big part? And is that something that your team is well versed at?
We are well versed in it. It does play a big part, but it depends on the deal. Some of the deals can be had with just standard financing, but when you can't do that, you have to think outside the box. And we like to say, what box? Also, there's many ways to do a deal in real estate that don't necessarily involve the typical exchange of cash. There's trades. I've seen real estate deals where they traded for real estate and a boat and something else. I've seen deals where somebody will sell a property and add money to the deal in exchange for another piece of property. So there's a book out there that talks about deals like this, and I believe the title is 315 Ways to Do Real Estate Deals. And they don't include just your typical cash for a property. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. We try to stay up on what's involved and bring that creativity to the table as well.
Unlike the new couple out there who is searching for their first home, where, let's be honest, emotion plays a big part in what they're purchasing. The investment opportunity is only great if the bottom line makes sense, be it passive income or a gain to be realized at the closing table or maybe later on down the road. Do you pride yourself on being able to provide that raw data that these investors really want to know, and minus the hype?
Vern is a spreadsheet wizard. He's excellent at the analysis, and I think that is so critical because it's, if your decimal's in the wrong place, you've got a couple zeros that are wrong, you have sunk yourself. And, one of the things that we do is special financing. We've got a lease option for our assisted living. And if you are working on something like that, you're analyzing your business. One of the things that we look at is cost of food. If you've got your food costs wrong,
Right.
and you're deducting too many things, I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong if you don't analyze properly. So having an expert that does this day in, day out is so critical to having a successful business and creating that long-term, even generational wealth cycle.
Vern, have you always been a numbers cruncher? Are you always somebody to look into the details, cross your T's, dot your I's, or do you surround yourself with a team that kind of helps you in that process as well?
In school, I was a C student in math, but in business, that's when you really learn it. So if you're in business, you need to understand it, you need to learn it and master it. And that's what I've been able to do over the last 40 years.
So you've basically discovered the goals of your client. You've analyzed the real estate or possible business opportunity. Next is exploring the funding options. Is this an area where you're able to assist that really a typical realtor probably knows nothing about that happens in a typical transaction?
Yes, I believe we are the investor's secret weapon. We have something called a lease option, and it's not a fit for everyone, but it has some excellent pros. There are some cons, but really what your trade-offs are, you've got less down, you're able to have a little extra money to put into the assisted living.
Mhm.
So you have, maybe you need to remodel, you need to update some furniture, make it more modern, something like that. When you can do a lease option, you have that flexibility. Whereas traditional funding, there's very cut and dry rules, there's not a lot of flexibility. And sometimes, depending on who you're working with, you can't sit across face to face and have a relationship with the person that is working on your behalf, and being flexible and trying to make things work for you best.
Interesting. I mean, all realtors out there, they're able to assist in the buying and selling of real estate. Yet for real estate purposes, it's far different. Like we've said, the mindset, the process is different. I mean, I've sat down with hundreds of realtors personally, and one of the steps you provide I've never even heard of, which is that of counsel on due diligence. What takes place at that step?
In particular, when you're selling a business or buying a business, you need to do a lot of due diligence. There's the old saying that the buyers are liars and sellers are tellers.
Sounds right.
So you really want to go through. I was looking at a business recently where all the paperwork that came from the seller was just a mismatch of things. So we asked for the profit and loss statements and the tax returns. And when we don't get those things, there's big red flags that come up. Other times we've looked at profit and loss statements and tax returns that don't match, and you start to question, are we really being told the truth? So the due diligence process is to dig in and make sure that what you're looking at is what is being represented.
Interesting. At the end of the day, really, you're providing peace of mind for these investors, be it a new investor or a seasoned pro. You're able to manage the entire transaction. Is communication, transparency, is that vital in basically helping them navigate through that process and putting their mind at ease?
Absolutely. I think it really starts with figuring out what the long-term and the short-term goals of the investor are. What are they trying to accomplish? Are they looking to build an empire, have a generational wealth? Are they doing it a lot of times for personal reasons? I worked with a woman who, she started a residential assisted living, which we call a RAL, depending where you are, they have different terms, but she started it because she is Indian, and she couldn't find any place that had food that her mother could eat. Nobody spoke the same language. She didn't speak English, and so she didn't want to put her mother in a place where she would be completely disconnected from people. So understanding the reason people are doing this, making sure that they are doing it for the right reasons. Vern talks a lot of people out of it. So just understanding the whole picture, and then looking at the other side. What's the seller doing? What have they done historically? What was their faux pas, if you will, and why are they selling it? And being able to really dig in and see the details, and making sure that the buyer is going to be set up for success, because we never want to take back a property. We want to see them flourish and come back to us again and again, and and build that portfolio.
So you really get to understand your client, see the full picture, find out even what their intent is of what they're trying to do, and therefore you can help them along the road. Renee, you have continually accomplished milestones and goals throughout your career. You're now with a team that it really has dealt with over $78 million in transactions, over 100 opportunities that they've managed for clients. They've been trusted with single deals up to $8.5 million. Yet it seems to me this company is just getting started. I mean, really, we're just embarking on a whole new chapter here. What do you hope to see as the future of the company?
I'd like to live near the beach. That's what I'm working on.
Smart.
Florida, here we come. Residential assisted living is a very unique space, and we have what is called the silver tsunami coming, and that's basically the baby boomers are aging out of their homes. They've downsized, they are going into assisted living, and it's a matter of preference, obviously. Do they want to be in a place that feels like home, or do they want to be in a facility where they're a little more disconnected? There's pros and cons of each. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but the residential assisted living really is an incredible place for folks to be in their senior years. And I'd like to see these well managed, because standards are incredibly important.
Yeah.
And we work with an organization. It's called RALNA, and they educate people, and we are so proud to be working with them and seeing the results of the students that come out of there and what they're doing and the integrity and the success they're having and the service that they're providing. So it's important to really leave a legacy and do something in the world that leaves a good impact. And I think we're very driven by that.
That's a great outlook right there. Vern, you were licensed in 2016. You've accomplished much in a short period of time. You created the Denver Association of Assisted Living Residences. You share a wealth of knowledge, not only with your inside team, but really with anybody who desires to invest in real estate, be it a meetup group, you name it. You love sharing the wealth of what you've learned. Is this rewarding for you? And do you enjoy the path that you've taken?
Yes, I do. We like to think that investing is a team sport. And the more we collaborate, the more we're going to win. So it's not necessarily competition. And that's another thing that really drew me to investments is we're not competing with other investors. We're trying to collaborate and do something with them. So that's the spirit that we have in investing, and that's why I really enjoy it so much.
That is excellent. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you're going to learn more about this organization, learn what their vision and mission is. Whether you're a new investor or a seasoned professional, check out their events calendar. You're going to learn more about real estate and investing. Definitely some great places to go. They put some organizations together as well as even meetups once we all get back to meeting up once again. You can also check out their inventory tab and take a look at some of the deals that they have searched through and found that are great for investors of any caliber out there. But obviously the best way is to contact them. Reach out to this team who really is providing a better way to find the next great investment opportunity. That is Grand Avenue Brokers since 2014. The team of principal-centered investor realtors helping educate clients while finding investment opportunities to create financial freedom. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.